Hello, my name's Tina Hay. I'm a partner in Weldon Law Solicitors. We're a Hertfordshire-based firm of criminal defence solicitors, and we specialise in dangerous dogs law. There are more than 35 Acts of Parliament that apply to dogs, but the most commonly seen ones are the Dangerous Dogs Act, Section 1 and Section 3. Section 1 of the Dangerous Dogs Act 1991 it's an offence to possess a banned breed of dog. There's 4 banned breeds of dogs: the American Pit Bull Terrier, the Japanese Tosa, the Dogo Argentino and the Fila Brasilia. The most commonly seen one in this country is the American Pit Bull Terrier. The courts aren't concerned at all with breed, they're simply concerned with type. So provided your dog measures up to a breed standard, then regardless of its breeding or its temperament, then it will be found to be a banned breed of dog. It's not illegal to own a banned breed of dog. They're legal provided they're registered with the Index of Exempted Dogs, which is held by DEFRA. The dogs have to be neutered, they have to be microchipped, tattooed with an index number, they have to have third-party insurance, and they have to be kept on a lead and muzzled whenever they're in a public place. That lead must be held by somebody who is at least 16 years of age, and the garden of any premises in which the dogs are kept have to be securely fenced to a height of 5 foot or more. Under Section 3 of the Dangerous Dogs Act, there are a number of offences. They all relate to a dog being dangerously out of control, whether or not it's caused injury to a person. So if a dog is dangerously out of control in a public place, then an offence is committed. If somebody fears that they will be injured, if they have a reasonable fear of being injured, or indeed if they are injured. It's also an offence if a dog gets into a private place where it's not meant to be, and there it causes somebody to fear injury or they are actually injured. There's also civil proceedings under the Dangerous Dogs Act. Under Section 4B, if a dog is believed to be a banned breed of dog, and this is usually used where the police accept it's a nice dog and a nice owner, rather than prosecuting somebody with a criminal offence, they can take them to court under civil proceedings, and they can ask for either a contingent destruction order, which would allow the dog to be registered and to come home, or they can ask for a destruction order. But it's usually used where the police accept that it's a nice dog and a nice owner and they have no problem with the dog being registered. There's also a little known piece of law called the Dogs Act 1871. There's only one section left in force, which is Section 2. These are also civil proceedings. They apply to a public place and a private place, and an owner of a dog can be taken to court under a civil complaint that they are the owner of a dog that is dangerous and is not kept under proper control. The courts can then make either a control order requiring the owner to keep the dog under proper control, or they can make a destruction order. So again, the civil equivalent of the Dangerous Dogs Act. It's frighteningly easy for your dog to get you into trouble these days, and the old adage that every dog is allowed one bite is a complete myth. Courts can and do make destruction orders against dogs that have never bitten anyone or that have only bitten once. New sentencing guidelines were introduced in August 2012, which are going to lead to harsher sentences for dog owners. And if proposals come into being that will extend the Dangerous Dogs Act to apply to private places, then we're going to see a big increase in prosecutions. The only real safe way of keeping yourself out of trouble with the dangerous dogs laws are to keep your dog on a lead and possibly even muzzled whenever it's in a public place. But that's just a ridiculous thing. So I think common sense has to come to play. Always have a collar and tag with your dog's name, address and phone number on it. Take your dog to puppy socialisation classes. Get your dog properly trained. And if you see a dog that is on a lead or that's on a lead and muzzled, then it's probably on a lead for a reason. So either steer clear of it or put your own dog on a lead and give it a wide berth. Make sure your garden's secure so your dog can't escape, and it's always a good idea to have third-party liability insurance in place, so if anything does go wrong, then you have some degree of cover and protection. If you join the Dogs Trust, I think the annual membership costs about £11, and that comes with free third-party liability insurance for up to 11 dogs living in your household. If you are the victim of an offence, if you are attacked by a dog or if your dog is attacked by a dog, then that becomes a police matter, but you should always get the name, address and contact number for the owner of the other dog. If your dog is injured, you should take it straight to the vet for treatment, and also because that evidence from the vet could be evidence used in court proceedings. If you're injured yourself, then you should go to the hospital and get your injuries treated and recorded. You should photograph any injuries, and you should of course report it to the police. Often we find that the police are not particularly interested if it's just a dog-on-dog incident, but there is always the opportunity for a person to take the owner of the other dog to court under civil proceedings under Section 2 of the Dogs Act 1871. Any person can lay a complaint against an owner whose dog is dangerous and who is not kept under proper control, and they can apply to the court for a control order or a destruction order. If your own dog gets you into trouble, then you should always provide your name, address and telephone number to the owner of the other dog. If you're able to help them by taking them to the hospital if they're injured, or by taking their dog to the vet, then you should do so. You should always offer to pay any vet bills that are incurred. Most people at that stage would probably want to contact some sort of animal trainer or behaviourist to find out why their dog behaved as they did and to look at any training issues. You could contact a dog law solicitor at that stage, but you're probably better off to wait until such time as the police become involved, if they do. Sometimes these things just go away if you behave responsibly, if you apologise, and if you offer to pay any vet bills.